You are holding your wings with unusual rigidity.
Those piercing blue eyes formed of crushed sapphires and light caught the much more prosaic gray of her own gaze. Prosaic but for the rim of silver that had appeared as she grew deeper into her immortality. "I've wrenched the left one." She made a face, reaching up with one hand to manipulate her shoulder in an effort to ease the discomfort. "I must have taken off at the wrong angle or something. From the feel of it, she'd done a number on her poor wing. Hopefully the healers wouldn't ground her while the wound healed. But when Raphael frowned and began to raise his hand to her back, she shook her head. "Don't waste your healing energy on me. I don't want you at anything but full strength with all this going on." She gestured to the deadly beauty of the hot, jeweled chasm in front of them. "Tower healers will fix me up." Frown not fading, Raphael nonetheless lowered his hand and returned his attention to the sinkhole.
"I sense no aberrant energy from it."
"Thank God." She put her hands on her hips. "I can live with random lava, but I'd rather pass on zombies or other nasties crawling out." A whispering rustle, leaves shaking. The starlings rose en masse from the trees behind where the cabins had once stood, their tiny bodies a black cloud in the sky that swirled for a heart-stopping moment into the shape of huge angelic wings. Then they were gone, scattering to all corners. Elena looked to Raphael, saw his gaze remained skyward. Her own, however, locked onto the legion mark on his right temple. The lines were complex, forming into the shape of a stylized dragon, with no softness to it. It blazed a dangerous blue, lit with searing white fire, an artifact of an ancient power that lived in Raphael. Elena lifted her fingers to brush the mark. "It's a fire."
"The cascade awakens again. I wonder how long this cycle will last, and if it will be the final one before the cataclysmic crescendo the Legion warn us is coming."
Raphael's voice was the sea at its calmest, while treacherous currents swirled underneath.
"Look up."
Elena shivered, not wanting to see whatever it was that had captured an archangel's attention, not wanting to know why Raphael's skin was suddenly brushed with a light that held edges of crimson. At the same time, she had to see, had to know the threat looming on the horizon. She looked up. The sky boiled as red and angry as the lava at their fate. And the rain, when it fell, was almost hot enough to burn. Minuscule bullets fired into the snow, creating tens of thousands of tiny tunnels and causing the survivors to run for the shade of the trees. None of that, however, was as bad as the haunting and old voice in Elena's head that wasn't her own. "Child of mortals, your time comes. For one must die for one to live." A sigh, drenched with a terrible sadness. "You must die.